All right, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about advice engagement, and with me is Philipp Hecker, CEO of Bento Engine. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what advice engagement is and kind of the nuts and bolts of how you can use this as an advisor to help your clients and potential prospects. And then a little bit more specifically, Philipp's going to talk about his tool, Bento Engine, and how you can make this even more convenient and easy for you as an advisor. So Philipp, let's just start with you a little bit. Can you give us a little bit of your background and kind of how you got started into this business?
Geoff, great to see you again. Hello to all the folks out there on the lines. Looking forward to this discussion. To answer your question, by way of professional background, I am a Procter & Gamble trained brand manager. I'm a recovering BCG consultant. And then I spent the past 15 years on Wall Street at Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan in a number of capacities, always focused on wealth management, in particular, wealth management advice that goes beyond investing and that creates quantifiable tax alpha and competencies on the client side. That's what I'm very passionate about and look forward to discussing with you today.
Awesome. Awesome. So recently I was at the Jolt Marketing Conference, and the CEO, Robert Sophia, he kind of set the tone for the conference, and he said, marketing is relationships at scale. And when I think about Bento and your product, I think about Bento is advice engagement at scale. So just to kind of give everyone a high level overview, can we just kind of go over like, what is Bento? Give us a description, maybe show us a couple slides so people can get familiar with this kind of overall concept of advice engagement, et cetera.
Absolutely, Geoff. And to build on that great quote, I would also suggest that some of the best marketing that advisors can do is to serve their existing clients really, really well. Everybody benefits if and when that happens. To answer your question, Bento Engine is essentially an advice engagement tool that equips client-centric advisors with everything they need to engage and serve all of their clients and prospects during moments that matter. Our fundamental belief is that serving and engaging clients on wealth management topics that go beyond markets, that go beyond investments, that go beyond asset allocation and security selection benefits everybody. Let me pull up a few pages and bring Bento Engine alive for our audience. So first off, what are these moments that matter that we focus on? In terms of life events, there's dozens of life events ranging from birth of a child all the way to death of a loved one that not always, but oftentimes happen on the life journeys of your clients and prospects. And when these life events, such as getting married, getting divorced, having a child, buying a home or selling a business, moving to Florida, and so on, when they happen, they represent golden opportunities to lead with advice and capture money in motion. We also must acknowledge that Uncle Sam is giving all of us 15 age-based milestones that matter in the lives of our clients and prospects. 10 of them on the right of this page pertain to retirement. 5 of them on the left pertain to the coming of age of the next gen of the client family that thoughtful firms and advisors want to connect with proactively. These 15 age points are extremely predictable. You know the age of your clients and prospects. You know the US tax code. Let's put the two together and systematically, proactively advise all of our clients and prospects on, say, when to best take Social Security benefits, how to utilize QCDs if they are philanthropically inclined, or on the left of the page, how to get working papers for the kids when they turn 14, and then have them legally earn income, and put that legally earned income into custodial IRA accounts under the kid's name, so that the kids get to enjoy the power of tax-deferred compounding for decades to come. You get the joke. 15 age points that matter because they trigger distinct wealth management risks and opportunities, which are not only nice to advise on topics, but I would argue they create quantifiable after-tax value for your clients. And if you call yourself a fiduciary, you owe it to your clients to advise them proactively on those topics. That's the good news. The bad news is even advised clients today are not always being advised. As you can see on this page, we interviewed older, wealthy Americans that are in an actively advised relationship, and shockingly often in blue, they're not getting the right advice on the right topics at the right point in time from their incumbent advisor. That to us is a big gap, a big need that we're reframing into an opportunity to play defense and offense. Defense in the sense that make sure that you serve all of your clients and prospects on these moments that matter, because otherwise you're vulnerable. Offense in the sense that oftentimes your prospects are being served by another advisor. And shockingly often, that advisor is asleep at the wheel, not advising on these opportunities. So perhaps in your prospecting, you lead with advice along these age points, differentiating your practice and showcasing firsthand how you are client-centric and creating value for your clients. How to do it? Last 2 pages, use Bento Engine. Here is how Bento Engine works.
Yeah.
You as an advisor on the left, continue to use your CRM as is. No new login, no new system on your workstation. Everybody has too many already. All we do is via APIs connect into the backend of your CRM, and we currently plug into and integrate with the 6 fine systems you see in the middle of this page. Via the APIs, our advice engine, our algorithm constantly scans your entire book of business to identify upcoming advice opportunities. And when we find one, we pull the right content from our proprietary content library, and then very proactively at the right point in time, we fire an alert, a task back into your CRM, advising you of the upcoming opportunity and equipping you with everything you need to shine, to execute with at that moment in time. I'll bring that to life in a minute, but for now, back over to you briefly, Geoff.
Yes, super helpful. I really like it. Kind of everything, just like advisors probably know what they need to do, but mirroring up the tasks and the actions, because it's one thing to have the best of intentions. It's another thing to have the ability to follow through and stay focused when you have a million different distractions.
Yes, Geoff, and let's be very honest and give credit. Many advisors today do this work. Social Security benefits, Medicare, catch-up contributions, QCDs. They do it because they know it matters. However, let's be honest, oftentimes they do that work manually for their very best clients only. Let's use technology. Let's leverage pre-packaged, purpose-built content to scale the great advice that great advisors are giving to their greatest of clients, and bring it in efficient and effective ways to the middle of the book and the bottom of the book, which are oftentimes woefully underserved and represent a massive organic revenue growth opportunity.
Yeah. So one of the people I like to follow on LinkedIn, his name is Dharmesh Shah. He's the CTO of HubSpot. And one of his quotes is, "Don't convince people you have a better solution. Convince them you are solving a better problem." So you've kind of touched on it, but before we talk about more features, like what is the basic problem that you are really trying to solve with advice engagement in Bento?
Great quote and great push, Geoff. Everybody wins if and when advisors do the right thing and lead with personal, timely, impactful advice. By everybody, I mean both clients and advisors. Clients benefit when they make more informed decisions around the key wealth management questions that they encounter on their journeys. Let me give you an example. The question of turning 62, do I start taking Social Security benefits now or later, is a big one. How big? On average, that question is worth $182,000 US. Let me expand. Recently, researchers from Boston University, sponsored by the Federal Reserve of Atlanta, did a big study analyzing de facto Social Security benefits decisions and comparing that to optimal timing. And what they discovered is that, broadly speaking, 90% of Americans should wait to file until later, but only 10% do so.
Wow.
leaving on at a median lifetime benefit of $182,000 on the table. When you focus on the top quartile, that goes up to, on average, $290,000 of lifetime benefits. So again, the decision on when to file for Social Security benefits is not a nice to support your clients on.
Yeah.
It's a must support your clients on, because it is a very consequential and big one. So clients benefit when they get proactive, personal, timely advice on these big moments that matter. And advisors benefit as well. Why? I'm sure you see this in your practice. I'm sure our listeners see it in their practices. If and when clients feel comprehensively advised, they pay it back in terms of loyalty, referral rate, share of wallet. So again, everybody benefits if and when advisors do the right thing and lead with advice.
Awesome. So as you kind of highlighted in this solution, one of the key systems is your CRM system, both to get the age that you need for the advice and both to put the task back in to just make sure it's top of mind and people are doing what they're focused on. There's the Kitsy's FinTech map is massive, and there's a lot of different tools out there. What other FinTech tools do you integrate with, like the CRMs? What is that advisor experience like?
For the time being, we are laser focused on the CRM systems,
Okay.
which we perceive to be the hub of client-centric practices going forward. Meaning, CRMs are increasingly becoming the golden source of information that client-centric firms run their business from. There is a plethora of great data and information stored in the CRMs. Our task is, let's mine that, let's leverage that, and make that practical, usable for the advisor. In a way, Bento is an Intel inside, making the CRM work even harder for the advisor.
I love
and
that.
As I mentioned, today we integrate into Salesforce, Dynamics, Redtail, Wealthbox, Practify, Accelerate, with others to come. And should you have a custom home-built CRM, we can help on that front too.
Cool. Awesome. So on the advice front, I think you have this concept of a multi-format material. So, what is that like? What is the advisor actually getting out to work with their client?
Great question, Geoff. Can you all see a Salesforce dummy instance building up?
Yep.
Wonderful. Let me bring to life how Bento Engine works from an advisor experience and client experience point of view. So Geoff, you are our sample advisor. It's Monday morning. After your third cup of coffee, you'll pop into your CRM. And by the way, I'm showcasing it here in a Salesforce instance. The same principles hold true in Wealthbox, Redtail, all the other CRM systems that we integrate into. After your third cup of coffee, given that you're half organized, you're going to your task list, your to-dos for the day. And as you can see here, there's a bunch of to-dos that start with an H point, and then they indicate the advice opportunity and who it pertains to. They come from Bento Engine. The system pushed them overnight into your CRM. If you simply do not wish to advise Andy Middleton on how to leverage QCDs as he's approaching age 7.5, you simply delete the task and move on with your day. If, however, let's say age 50 here for Rhoda catches your eye, Rhoda is a great client, you haven't spoken to her in a while, then you click on this link and this standard alert structure pops up for you. The structure is always the same. Hey Geoff, your good client Rhoda is about to turn 50 in 6 months' time. In case you haven't had a chance yet to advise on catch-up contributions, now would be a good time. And then we give you links to compliance pre-approved, impactful materials coming in multiple formats. I'll bring them to life in a second. We wrap it up with some best practices to consider, oftentimes around financial planning. And we build a mental bridge to the monetizable solutions that may matter in this dialogue. Not always, but oftentimes when you lead with advice on making catch-up contributions, you uncover IRA rollover opportunities and we want you to be mentally prepared for that. You can now say, thank you, CRM, for that helpful heads up. I was close to forgetting that my good client Rhoda is turning 50. Rhoda is a visual learner. She actually enjoys looking at PowerPoint or PDF pages. In that case, you would follow link number 4, click this link, and hopefully a PDF page is popping up for you. The materials are always short and sweet, a page or 2, always bullet points and graphs for easy absorption, always 3 sections. What's going on at this age point? Here we're talking catch-up contributions. Why bother? What's the economic benefit of getting this right? Another way to think about it, Geoff, what is the quantifiable value add that you as the advisor bring to the table by leaning in on this topic at this point in time? And then last but not least, action steps. How do you actually implement and get it done? On the last page, we keep everybody safe, disclaimers, quality further reading, the underlying US tax code, current as of. You would use the PowerPoint or PDF version if your client is a visual learner. Roughly 60% of clients like to absorb information visually. However, some clients hate looking at PowerPoint pages. They want to simply have a conversation. In that case, you follow link number 2 and pull up the key talking points. Those talking points frame the conversation for you, and then they spoon feed to you, the advisor, the key messages to relay in an impactful dialogue on the topic at hand. If your client is the constantly on the go type, living in her email box, and you want to send an email, you pull up the pre-articulated email, you copy paste that into your system so it sits on your compliance rails, and all you do here in red is customize the intro and the outro. The rest, again, is compliance pre-approved and locked.
I also
Those
noticed
are the 3 client-facing formats we offer. And we always offer these 3 formats on every topic because, Geoff, we acknowledge that different clients have different learning styles and communication preferences. And we think it's key that the advisor picks the best mode of communication on a client and prospect specific basis.
I also noticed, Philip, that there was a section, an FAQ specifically for advisors too. So this engagement advice isn't just for the client. If the advisor isn't a expert on this particular type of advice or engagement, there's additional resources for them to go deep on this topic as well.
Absolutely correct. Do you see the Salesforce instance again?
Yep.
Wonderful. Let's follow that link to the internal use only advisor FAQ, which we have on every topic. If you as the advisor benefit from brushing up on the topic at hand, we are on your side. Those documents are a cheat sheet, if you will, for your back pocket, organized around the what, the why, and the how, 10 pages or so, our most technical documents, FAQ style. And if your eyes are very good, here you can see that our subject matter experts always cite the underlying US tax code so that everybody can backtrace what is the advice actually based on. So yes, Geoff, you're spot on. There is a strong advisor training, a learning and development aspect to Bento, and we view it as learning and development in the moment of need. When the advice needs to be delivered, that in our mind is a wonderful complement to any classroom, type of training that might be going on already. When there is a job to be done, when the client is in need of a certain piece of advice, refreshing older advisors or training younger advisors via these materials is a key part of the Bento value proposition. If I may, one more element of the value proposition is keeping the materials current at all times. Laws and regulations change all the time. And when they do, we quickly update the materials so that our clients can serve their clients always with the latest and greatest.
Excellent. So we talked a little about the delivery of the engagement and the content. Can you talk a little bit more about like the timing of the advice and the importance of, all of those moments that matter?
Absolutely. To be heard, to break through the noise, if you will. We believe that advice needs to be personal, relevant, and timely. In terms of being timely, when in doubt, being proactive is a good thing. I think we can all agree. How proactive to be, how many months before the client reaches a certain moment that matter to reach out and advise, frankly depends on the advice opportunity at hand. For example, 2 months before the kids turn 14 will be perfectly sufficient to advise on how to get working papers and how to open custodial IRA accounts. No problem. I hope you and our audience concur for a big strategic question, such as when to best start taking Social Security benefits. 2 months would not be sufficient. There, our system advises 18 to 24 months to allow for ample discussion and preparation time. So in a nutshell, the timing, the degree of proactiveness thoughtfully differs age point by age point. We have some research-based programs to offer, and we can customize the timing when we onboard new firms as well.
So that's interesting. So it's not just a triggering event of when they hit that event. There's also thought put into it, is like what type of advice needs to be given, how long is the project plan essentially, and we need to kind of back off from that date to alert the advisor when we should start having that discussion.
Spot on, Geoff. Remember our dummy client Rhoda, 6 months before she's turning 50, we suggest the advisor starts reaching out with advice on how to make catch-up contributions.
Awesome. So we've had a lot of good conversation this morning. I've seen your product a few times now, and even after today's discussion, I feel like I have an even better understanding. So I'll kind of recap and give you some of my thoughts from today. And the main thought that just sticks in my head is this principle or idea of Occam's razor. And if you're not familiar with that, it just says, everything else being equal, the simplest solution is best. So in 2023, the year of AI, when we keep hearing about ChatGPT and Google Bard and version 3.5 and version 4 and billions of parameters and machine learning and all of these really complicated different scenarios, I think of Bento, where you've basically said, let's look at the age, let's look at the tax code, let's put together some advice, and let's get a better outcome. So kind of first takeaway, simple can be better in some senses. The other part, and the part that's taking me a little bit of time to appreciate, is that this is a tool that has multiple different use cases, right? So you can use it, just like you said, primarily with your clients to give them a better outcome, but it can also help you with referrals and differentiate with prospects. I've heard you talk on some other podcasts about, you had numerous different advisors. All of them told you they had their best interest. Kind of inside joke, I'm a fiduciary. Like, if you know, it's from the Jolt conference. They all said they care about your family, but at the end of the day, like, don't tell me, show me. And with something like Bento, it can help you show how you're really engaged with them above, investment performance, and really understanding their life, those moments that matter, and putting the right advice with the right timing.
Geoff, I think that's a great summary. I would totally echo that. From our perspective, there is a lot of low-hanging fruit to be captured. We yearn for the day that all advisors advise all of their clients and prospects on the 15 age milestones, on life events. If and when that happens, all of us will be infinitely better off. There's great talk of AI and other fancy stuff right now, and for sure, our industry is moving that direction. In the meantime, let's focus on the basic blocking and tackling and use pretty simple technology and algorithms together with compliance pre-approved impactful content to advise our clients. On that note, again, to emphasize, think of Bento deliberately as a combination of technology and content. Technology to identify the next best actions, and then content, multi-format on a silver platter for you to execute with. That integrated 1-2 punch is important from our perspective to get busy advisors to act upon these opportunities.
Awesome. So if people are still interested and they want to learn more about Bento Engine, what is the best way for them to learn more about Bento?
Visit us at bentoengine.com, follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn, and continue to learn about advice engagement, which is a fast-growing and very important category on the KITS's FinTech map.
Awesome. All right, Philipp, thank you so much.
Geoff, thank you. All the best.